lot of businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs start out with so much passion. And they are just like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And they feel like they're literally the only ones in the world doing what they're doing. And so sometimes it actually ends up in burnout, ends in tears, What has the journey been like from passion to profit?
Wow, it's like you're speaking to me. It's been a journey. So I started out very, very passionate about tourism. I didn't travel so much, but I went on so many excursions, growing up. And I was just really fascinated about all the places I went to. And I'm like, Dora the Explorer. Oh my God, Igbo, calm down. Oh my, okay. Yes, I'm like Dora the Explorer. And they call me something at home, wandering tendency, WT. It's like a sickness. Like I'm always wandering or going somewhere. And, I was always just passionate about exploring. And then after NYC, when I was working my first job and I started making some money, I started, exploring more outside Lagos, just within Nigeria. I was discovering a lot of nice places, and I decided to start documenting these places. So I started out as a travel blogger, documenting the places I was going to. So people started asking, can I join you? And that's how the business started. Wow. People were like, can I join you on these trips? It looks so exciting. You're taking these nice pictures, you're climbing these rocks, you're in this waterfall, please let me join you now, show me the way and stuff. Is this place really in Nigeria? Okay, then that's how we started, because we recognized that there was a problem. I recognized there was a problem. Not we back then. Anyway, so I recognized there was a problem, and I decided to solve that problem. So I was very passionate. I was very, very, and I did a lot of things out of passion and lost money. Yeah. So at first I didn't start out with a business plan. I didn't start out with strategy. I didn't start out even having a vision or a mission. It was just like, let's go. From exploring myself to people asking, can they join? And I'll put out a tour the first day. And that's what we actually still celebrate as our anniversary. And we turned 6 this year. Wow. Yeah. So people just said, can you go? And then I brought out one tour, and that's how we started. Without vision, mission statement, without a business plan, without anything. And somehow that was good and also bad. Good because, there was now no single laid out plan to just tell me, this is where you must go. There were now so many opportunities that I could explore. If I started out and I said, it's only Nigerian tours, that would be Nigerian tours up to now. Now that Nigeria, insecurity issues, one side, so many issues, I won't have explored outside the shores of Nigeria. I won't have been doing all the things I'm doing now. There were so many opportunities. So the passion was what drove me. But then, of course, you have a team that have to be paid. They're not coming from the same passion level as you are. They have families to take care of. They have to feed. They have things, they have lives too. So you have to pay your staff. And then also you have to pay your team because you need a team to grow. Yes. And then also, there are so many other projects you have to fund. You have to grow as well. So you have to invest in your business. So many things you have to do. So obviously you have to make money. You have to make money because you have to live. You have to do things. You have to feed, So when that hits me, after losing money a couple of times, and after let's just do this tour, we're just going to, have fun and take people out and meet. So I'll be going out and taking pictures with them and having fun too. When I realized that it was beyond that, we're helping people. We're helping them to, explore. We're helping them to distress. We're helping them to solve things like anxiety problems. We're helping them to network. Because you're coming on tours, you're meeting people, you're having an amazing experience, you're exploring a place, you're seeing a new culture, so many things about travel I don't want to get into now, But when we realized that it was beyond that, so that was when, I now started talking to a consultant, started taking my business more seriously, employed, some people, even if some are not on full staff basis, because sometimes you can't really do that all the time, just know what your business is, know your business and know what you can accommodate. So I first started out very, very passionate. I'm still very passionate, but obviously, profit has to be made now. So yeah, that's it.
Chiamaka, you have finished all the points now. Which one are we going to say? But it's amazing that you even mentioned networking, because some of the people that I went on the your social prefect trip 3 years ago, I'm sure I'm still friends with more than half of them. Yeah, till today.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
And so for you?
Wow. So I think that what happens is most times when we start out like that, we normally don't understand like the business side of what our passion is.
Yeah.
Because so for example, if I bake, for example, I enjoy baking for myself, I'm eating, I'm enjoying it. But when the dynamics of having to now bake for multiple people to sell, and then, having like, clients, artisans, vendors, stuff like that. Like the whole dynamics is different. So I think that for me, I would say maybe it was just maybe like the business is 8 years now. I would say maybe like just 3 years that I would say that we now like, let's say break even and like started making like proper serious profits. All along it was just, having to make ends meet and just, putting our foot on ground. So I would say sometimes some people start off on the first day and they start making all the profits. And then some you just have to, get the experience, have the track record. And then, clients just start coming right, left, center.
I was watching a video, interview with Jay-Z, Warren Buffett, and some other, white billionaires. And everybody was white except Jay-Z. And all of them are, of course, older. And they were like, oh, you see, to get success, this book, I went to this school, I did this, I applied this principle, I did that, I knew when to get into the stock markets and all of that. And then Jay-Z said, the only thing I did do right was that we didn't give up. What has been the worst day in business for you?
For us, I think ours probably came in April, actually, when we had, now that I think about it, there's a lot to choose from between the COVID times. We'd only been open for 3 months before we were closed for 3 months. Then there was the xenophobia riots, there was the NSARS riots, there was everything else that sort of even hindered our business operation and trying. In April, we had quite a serious fire in one of the buildings of our main our plot for the staff and admin building, and I actually thought we were going to be closed for many months. So that was incredibly tough. Millie and I happened to have a day off on that Wednesday morning, and then we got a phone call through. So we rushed, and fortunately traffic was the kindest it's been for a long time. So we managed to get to Jara in a pretty short time and saw a lot of devastation, saw a lot of very upset staff and guests to manage. Fortunately, we had an amazing team. They all pulled together really well. And our local villagers, our neighbours, really helped us on that day. And fortunately, we were closed for just 1 day. We rearranged and refunded. We got the CCTV and the internet back installed 36 hours later, and we were back to normal-ish. But then we've been fighting it since, or trying to sort of get ourselves stable since. That was tough. But again, you just bounce back. You focus on the fix, focus on the future, and again learn from it, which we did.
Worst day?
And when you're looking at it, you're thinking, I'm like, oh my God, that was really bad. I think that for me, I would say the worst day in business was a few years ago when I planned an event that went terribly wrong. And when I say terribly wrong, I mean terribly wrong in terms of I didn't understand the client, I didn't understand the environment, and I didn't understand that I needed the dynamics of the family and the people that I needed to cater to. So there were too many forces against the event. And the event it didn't go well. In our own terms, like into our own standard. We have a very high standard, in Zafaya. So for us at that time, it didn't go well. But, and I cried. I went to a corner, stayed, I cried, I sat down on the floor, and I was so upset with myself. But at the end of the day, after the event, a section of the guests who we thought the event was a disaster, thought the event was amazing. And I thought, how can you think this event was amazing? But I said, well, thank God. And they thought it was amazing. And from there, we got more jobs, But during that period, I realized that I took some things for granted. So I didn't understand the stakeholders. And that's when I started teaching my team, it was about 6-7 years ago, how to understand the stakeholders in any event. Everybody's a stakeholder. So don't think that you've pleased one stakeholder and you think everything is okay. There are people that are out to get you. I didn't know people were out to get us. You're living your life. And then you're thinking some people were just out to destroy this event. It was very bad, but at the end of the day, we were able to overcome it, and we're able to even, with our clients, with that particular client, do more things. So I would say that was like the worst. Really, you know. Yeah, and it wasn't in Lagos, so yes, it wasn't. It was not.
Well, that's really crazy. But I would say we've had a lot of bad days. But I think the worst period was for me personally was when we lost some piece of equipment. And it was really. I mean, it's funny because it's just equipment, but then it's crazy because they're expensive. And for me, it wasn't a worst day, it was a worst period or time. Because at that point, what happened to me was I was just like, this photography thing self. Maybe I should just sell the other equipment. And I mean, I make all the money back. But I mean, it was a trying time because even when jobs were coming, I was reluctant to take up jobs. I mean, it was at that point. I got to that. Yeah, I got to that stage where I was just like, so what is it? Please, I don't want. Don't worry. But eventually, I got over it. I just realized like I still have equipment. It was not as if it was everything was totally lost. I still had some piece of equipment, so I started using. And I just thought to myself, okay, well, before I got this new equipment that are shocking me so much, I used these ones to create magic. What happened to me? So I just revisited. I got back to my senses, and I was like, oh, this is still amazing. I mean, people at that time, people were still saving up to get the equipment that I was rejecting, that I was saying, oh, it's not good enough. People were still aspiring to get them. So I was just like, okay, well, why should I be depressed because of this? It's just a loss. I bounced back from it, and eventually, within a couple of months, things happened, things turned around, and it was better.
Okay, I just wanted to add. So what you said, so you know when I said the worst day and everything and what, I didn't really, I just glossed over it. And what Emmanuel said. So at the point when it happened, or even a few weeks after, I thought I wasn't going to plan events ever again in my life. I was depressed. I was sad. I thought I was the worst person in the world. I've been doing this and that was about 13 years. So I just said, you know what, hey, I'm not doing it again. Bye-bye, everybody go away, and everything. But I had to dig deep, since digging, and then also surrounding myself, and I'll tell to anyone, surrounding yourself with the right people also matters. So when you have the right people that care about you, support you, exactly, and want to see you do well, and they tell you, what, dust yourself up. Because I've had those days. I've had days where I've gone to hide. This was 5 years into the business. I went to hide. I was hiding from a client. And the client's husband said, why are you hiding from my wife? Come! It's a mistake. Things happen in life. And I said, yes, sir. So dust yourself up and start running your business. What's wrong with you? And that was my late pastor. So many times you need people that will also speak to you, speak for you, and encourage you. You need people around you. So I think when you said that, I wanted to just point that out. That's when they say, don't say that you're alone, or don't say you're an island. You need people that will also, ginger you, really, and so that's
it's amazing
helped.
Because when you talk about things like this, you then realize that, see, look, I'm not the only one that, that have failed or that has these challenges. When people begin to talk about the challenges that they face, I think that, I would not say encouraging, but you just feel like you're not alone. And I think that's one of the things that we should also do as entrepreneurs or as business owners, talk about these things. So you don't know who you're. Imagine if someone that was older in the industry. I don't know if there's anyone older in our own industry, but let's just assume, right? And then someone was facing, she was facing that. And there was someone that had gone through that scenario and said, no, this is just a phase, right? You will be fine. I think that will be encouraging. So, yeah.
This is Live Podcast is sponsored by Enterprise Live Nigeria. You can follow them on social media at Enterprise Live Nigeria.
is here with Enterprise Life Assurance. Our decades of experience in the West African markets will help you achieve your dreams with peace of mind. Visit www.myenterprisegroup.io/NG or call 0700 Enterprise to know more. Enterprise Life, your advantage.
So what was your own worst day experience?
So for me, I would say that it was sometime last year, and to even say this now, you know how they say like blessing, but in a way. So we were even not overwhelmed with work. So it was like a good, how do they say it? Like a good problem, right? So and then we had 3 staff resign on the same day.
Oh wow.
It was like, that was the first time in my life that I said, maybe I should just be housewife. I should just be somewhere, on the beach and be sipping something, and just enjoy my life and just forget about it. It was really bad. And so because we were short-staffed at the time and, we had like lots of projects. So when we got out of lockdown, I think that people then realized that, oh my goodness, my house isn't so, because they are now staying in their houses 24 hours, some people now needed like home offices, they needed, so it was just, so as the lockdown was eased, we just started having people, call us back to back. And so we didn't structure properly. So the team members, we were worn out, and so I think it took us like 3 months, so we're making mistakes. To rebalance, do you understand? So it was just so till we closed, right, in December, we just had like issues there and there. So I would say that period, it was really, really tough. And, looking at it now, it's, like I said, it's a good problem. But how do you then say that that's like a worst, but it was a worst? Because you wake up, you sleep in at night, and you wake up in the morning and just hoping that, you'll be tired and hoping that you don't have like WhatsApp messages from different clients, hitting you both. It was really, really bad. And so moving on, after we went to Jara, cool down our head. And then in January, we had to re-strategize, so that this doesn't happen again. And again, that comes to, learning from mistakes and, understanding and knowing, what to do. And then we re-strategized. And, I think that we are a lot better now.
Yeah.
I think everybody here has gone through failure. And apart from failure, you've actually said, I'm not doing it again. What was the turning point decision, the turning point job, the turning point client that spun everything around for your company?
That made you say, I'm not doing it again?
No. Like turn it around, like, 180 and say, please, dear, we move. Like, for example, I've spoken to some people and they will just say the 80-20 rule applies to them in their business. They're like, I have like 300 clients, but there are 2 like this. They bring 80% of my profits more than the other 300. So what is for some businesses, they just made one right decision and boom, they hit something and they just made, millions of money, or one got them into like this contract. So what has that turning point decision been for your experience as an entrepreneur?
I can probably provide an example in the reverse. So pre-opening, I reached out to my network. I said, this is what we're doing. This is our plan. Sent some sort of, exactly, kind of an overview, but with some sort of non-real or non-genuine photos like that, the kind of implied pictures, implied theme. And then when we got some bookings through, we had a consultancy, a well-known international business, was our very first client on November the 8th, 2019. And it was that was the sort of incentive or the drive or the determining factor that we had to be open by that date. And I remember it like it was yesterday. It was 2 a.m. in the morning, the day that they were arriving, and I was there with my ground staff team hitting in bamboo to make the volleyball court in Jara, in the pitch black with torches and all sorts, and we knowing that the electricians were coming in the morning. And we just got open, and by 10:30, 11 a.m., the consultancy started arriving, and they didn't know anything about that 2 a.m. activity. But it was that's the encouragement you need or the motivation to sort of know that you have to reach it, and you've got something to achieve out of it. So I think ours was almost in the reverse. It was like the booking came in, and then we had to make it work.
Okay, I think I'll give 2 scenarios. One is the reverse, like him, but in negative reverse, actually. And then the funny thing is that this had to do with another resort. but I won't mention the name, which is why I'm grateful that, resorts like Jara, have come up. And it's actually good that people get to copy you, but you still remain number one, Sha. Anyway, yeah. But so the thing is, we had this tour, and then it was like, so the way the resort sold it to us was like, it's a fiesta. The resort is usually expensive, to go to, but to some people, and then they said, oh, okay, we're going to reduce the price on this day. You can come, you can have food, you can have music, you can have this and that at this reduced price, and you can sell to your clients. We didn't know that they were selling it to almost the whole of Nigeria. And this is resort, you have to go by boat. So on that day, they said, no, don't worry, we'll sort out the boat for you. Everything is going to be taken care of. And we got there, and then there were so many people. And we pride ourselves in giving our clients, a great experience, and from the start, either from the boss or from it's not easy to do business in Nigeria, especially like service businesses, because customer service is not something that a lot of Nigerian businesses are used to. So we want to always give them a great experience, right from either the bus or the plane or, the boat, whichever means of transportation we're using to take them there. We engage them right from start. We start, basically we engage them, we give them a good experience, give them good food, everything. So that's how we got there, and only to see that people were actually fighting to enter the boat. Because people had been waiting for a long time for the boat to come. And when they got there at the jetty, people were like struggling to enter the boat, and it was really, really bad. And at the end of the day, clients give us a lot of, it was terrible. It was a terrible experience that day. It was just raining for me. I don't know how I didn't even cry. When we got there again, there was now a long line for food as well. These are things we would have sorted ourselves. Gotten our own food vendor, gotten our own boat. That's not hard, we do it all the time. But they said, oh, don't worry, it's taken care of. Just come and with your clients. And also, we sold it to our clients, even gave extra perks. We give them a swag goodie bag with things inside, and, just treated them well. Only for them to now start. A lot of people left though. Because the kind of clients we have, they're like, no, we can't stay here and struggle for both. So they left. So you either refund us, or so we had to do a lot of refunds after that event, and it was just really terrible. So that experience, made us know the kind of business we shouldn't even dip our hands into at all. It made us know that your clients are coming for a great experience. So you have to take this experience thing very, very, very seriously. And then second one quickly, I'll just say is a friend of mine from secondary school, she's into this business. It's actually like a network marketing business, but they have a lot of people. And we've taken over, I think, close to 400 people from them on trips. We once took 108 to Ethiopia and Dubai. Yeah, and then we've taken 40 to Mauritius. 40 just came back 2 weeks ago from Zanzibar. So we've taken and then we still have more bookings from them. We've taken several of them to Benin Republic. So and she's a friend from secondary school, and we even got into a fight once, but she came back to us. She used another tour company, because we had a fight, and then she tasted, and they went to a country, and then they were like, no, these people did not treat us well, and then they came back to us. She was like, okay, let's settle our fight. Just so. That's
I think
it.
that for me, my own experience, the turning point, and that's why in business, I would say that do not take anything for granted. Do not take any opportunity, any client, any job. Do everything like it is your best. Yes. It was just we delivered 2 beds, just 2 guest beds to a client. If I was on the day of delivery, I realized that it was even in Ikoyi, and I was like, they'll charge this person. But anyways, so we did that, and I think 6 months after, the guy, I don't know who he is. I know how people are. You don't know who their networks are. And then he called and he said, "Are you available to meet me in Ikoyi in the next 15 minutes?" I was sleeping on my bed in Ikati. I've not had my bath. I said, "Don't worry, I shall be there." Anyway, long story short, we got there. And, he had another friend. Cut long story short, before we knew what was happening, I was put on a 5-star hotel project, which we worked on for about 2 years here in Lagos. And from that job alone, every time we have a big ticket project, once I say we were on that job, there is no project that we've mentioned, that we've said that they will not give us the project. So I would say that was a really big turning point for our business. Yeah.
That's good. Well, for me, I would say I'm still looking for the turning point. Yeah, but really, I think as humans, we just aspire to more every single time. I mean, but we should be more grateful about what we have. I would say, but for me, it's been revolving. I mean, clients come, clients go. Sometimes you have some clients and you'll be like, thank God for this client too. I don't think I'll ever have any other better clients. And then the next year, nobody's calling you again. And next thing you hear, somebody just sends you an email and it's even bigger than, far bigger than what you've. I'm not like, okay. Well, yes. So, yeah, I mean, I think we should just be a bit more grateful.
Lastly, what would your current entrepreneur self tell your first year entrepreneur self?
Take the risk. Like, done is better than perfect. We're always waiting till it's perfect. Like everything is, laid out, everything is perfect before we dive in. But just do it. You see people, when you now open Instagram, for example, you just see people doing things that you thought about and you're like, I could have done this, I could have done this better. I could have, so,
But you didn't do it.
but you didn't do it. Yeah, so the thing is, done is better than perfect. So just do that thing you're afraid of and then don't be too scared. Like fear is, there's so many fabulous things on the other side of fear. Like those things that we're scared of, like launching a particular project or, for me, selling a trip. Thinking, people may not have the money to pay, it's pandemic, people just came out of pandemic, and I'm putting this price, now we just start pricing in dollars because, because the thing is, like, our international vendors price in dollars, so we have to charge in dollars too. So, we're like, will people pay? But people are paying. So, you don't just do things, do it afraid. That fear will be there, but just do it afraid. So, those are two things I'll tell my younger entrepreneur self.
I'll just say consistency.
Just be consistent.
Just be consistent. Like the first, you can consistent. Some people will say
changes everything.
it changes. Like because there will be a breaking point. Now I'm not saying there's some businesses that from start is dead on arrival. Like in this generation now, you cannot say you want to be doing typewriting business.
No.
Exactly.
You can't.
Exactly.
You understand?
Even if you are consistent.
You can't make it. Do you understand? So, but I would say that consistency is very key. Because let me just even end it like that.
I think mine's a bit of a contradiction. I'd say take your time, but start. And from my own experience, I went through a kind of corporate experience first, put aside some money, had some savings, and then did our project. I think obviously if you want to be eager or start quicker, there's back to the conversation around investors and whether you want that third party involvement and that type of thing. But from my own side, like I mentioned at the start, it took 2 or 3 goes to get a business that then made sense. And for us, this is now making sense. So take your time, but get started.
And I would say, don't give up. Now, don't give up. You give an example, so don't give up. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to cry, but don't give up. And what you said about being consistent. Consistency. When you talk about that turning point decision, I realize that even for all our clients, that we've gotten different turning points is because we're consistent in a particular area, and that's the consistency they saw that let them come to us. So be consistent, and then also understand your niche. Where do you want to play? You can't be everything to everybody. So that's what I would say.
Well, last but not least, what I'll say, I have so many things to say because I've learned so many things across just my short period of doing business. But I would say it's better to be part of something than all of nothing. That's what I would just to say.
I've had a really, really good time talking with all of you. Thank you so much for coming to speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I like a lot too, actually.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Please, cheers. We can now drink. We've ended. This is Life Podcast is sponsored by Enterprise Life Nigeria. You can follow them on social media at Enterprise Life